was like, this is what Live Nation used, ACG or AG, whatever them. I'm like, yo, this is what y'all got. I said, just steal this from the office.
I know, right? Can you just grab this from the back at the end of the show?
One of the young rappers.
Just grab it from the back.
Mm-hmm. And man, your boy Aaron Hall said he about to hit 20 million.
Aaron Hall?
What? Ashton Hall.
Oh, Ashton Hall.
I keep shout out to Aaron Hall too, by the way. One of the greatest.
Oh yeah, definitely one of the greatest.
One of the greatest stories.
Ashton Hall, man. I'm proud of the guy, man. I'm proud of the guy. Like, look, I mean, 6 years, man. Look at this turnaround. Like that's inspirational.
Gotta sell your soul.
We ain't gotta sell our soul. We right there, man. We right there in the middle. Right there in the middle.
I'm going with Poor Minds on their next trip.
They also have blown up in the last couple years.
Since COVID. They show starts next Wednesday or this Friday. I'm actually excited. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not BSing.
Okay.
I told my wife yesterday, I was like, I actually want, because you have to see where podcasters are going to know what's possibility for you.
Yeah. No,
when them girls was in COVID on their floor drinking wine, just talking about dating, I'm pretty sure they wasn't like, BT gonna cut us a check to travel the world. And it's like, cool, we see you doing that. You see what Joe Budden doing. You see what Roy and Mal is doing. You see what, horrible decisions ain't around no more.
They're still around. They just rebranded as decisions. And they're more into the women's space than the sex space.
Well, I'm a slutty. That was never gonna work.
It worked for a minute though.
A minute.
It worked for a minute.
You need to see Speed doing stuff that me and you would never do, as far as getting on steps above the world in China.
Yeah, I won't do it. I will go to China though. If China wanted to give me that 10-day visa and sponsor a trip, I'll spread propaganda.
You need
y'all behalf. I got you. I'm a salesperson. I will sell anything almost.
That is true. If you ever want to buy an ad, sponsor this podcast, do anything, you will be talking to Mike. I am not the one you be talking to, because you're gonna come to me and be like, we really need this, and I'm gonna be like, yo, we just gonna do it for free. Mike is not going to allow that to happen. So with that, Mike will be the one you will be talking to at all times.
And we do have ad space available. So if any of you guys out there want to do anything for your business, because I know a lot of y'all are business owners, hey, hit us up.
Hit us up. All right, let's get my favorite podcast, which is us. Let's get it started. Hold on.
About to say, what
have a child by a very successful
you saw it
artist,
here today.
Right? From then, I'm viewed as a certain type of woman because I'm beautiful and have a nice body. And normally women like that attract a certain caliber of men.
Translation: the baddies get the rich men.
The entertainers. Because that's all they always have is entertainers.
The baddies? Yeah. I mean, the old baddies get the billionaires. You ever notice, like, the billionaires, like, they don't never get the young girl. They get the one who, like, in their 40s, who still thinks she a baddie in her 30s. They usually go for that. Like, they circle the block that way.
Yeah.
None of y'all get married, but it don't matter.
No. I mean, what's the need to get married?
Okay, let's keep going.
Which is also not my fault.
It's not my fault that y'all ugly and I'm pretty. I'm translating this whole video for y'all.
This is, what's her name, Ayesha Howard?
Yes, Anthony Edwards and Lil Baby's baby mama, who is older than both of them. She is 38. Both of them were in their 20s when they got with her. I'm just leaving it at that. I'm not calling her anything that starts with a P word besides pretty. I'm going to call her pretty.
And now that I am in yet another situation where...
What is the situation, Mike? I'm sorry. I got to translate this shit. She said she is pretty.
She's in another situation?
What is that situation?
I'm guessing a man who don't want a baby with her.
Hold on.
I love the baby voice.
I now have a child.
I hate her voice.
With another successful man. There's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. There's no beating those allegations
That's
at
true.
all.
This is true. There's no
comments
beating those
that
allegations.
Say, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with?
That's not fair, because me ain't got nothing. Don't shame us.
Yeah, we ain't got nothing to do with this. What is that you want me for?
Absolutely, but it gets better. Hold on.
Oh, gosh.
I love it.
To the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty.
Oh, God. Shots fired.
Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit.
All right, man. She put me to sleep, bro.
And food stamps, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for an extra Section 8 voucher. Is that how you kept your baby? Now, if that was triggering, that's how I feel.
Would that smoke alarm?
Yeah.
Please tell me that is not a smoke alarm in her house.
Come on, man. You heard that.
Ayesha is too pretty. Too pretty and too rich.
Too rich. Hold on.
Why do you...
How I feel every time somebody says, "Do you even love that baby?"
I ain't gonna go off. I went back to it. I want to welcome her into my list of the ways I know women don't like women. None of that was necessary, but I do love that she kept it on the women. That lets me know women have been in her comments tearing her ass up, and not men, because she only has smoke for them.
Yeah, look, she's a very attractive woman.
Beautiful. Her voice is ass.
It is. But I mean, it's soft. It's gentle.
I hate that
gentle.
shit.
But look, her, Drea. I mean, we don't have to pretend that these women are not targeting young, rich entertainers and having babies with them before those eggs are gone. Like, we don't have to pretend that that's not the case. Like, we can just admit that is the case, and we can admit that beautiful women have been gold diggers for a while, and they're allowed to be.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with being a sniper, but y'all got that name for a reason.
Exactly, but don't sit here and try to make it seem like it's something benevolent. Like, the kid is a check. Mm-hmm. Like, that's all it is. The kid is a she what it is. It's what it is. And she gonna go get that shit readjusted. Then we're not 8 minutes in.
It's all good.
She gonna get it readjusted in 3 years.
Yeah,
like she's got that lump sum payment, and she gonna go get it readjusted, and she gonna keep getting it readjusted until the kid is 18 years old. For everybody that believe Anthony Edwards was able to pay $1 million and he good on child support, y'all are the part of the internet I never want to speak to. They exist though, bro.
Bro, they believe anything.
They exist. Now, I do believe he paid, but I also know that she's definitely gonna get it readjusted every time he gets a pay raise.
Bro, $5,000.
No, I don't. You know what?
For a nigga that's making $40 million a year, come on.
Yeah, it depends on what state, because Texas has a cap.
Yeah, some states. But I don't think she was there. I think she was trying to get to Cali first.
Yeah,
but they didn't let her do that part. But she tried to move out to Cali because apparently there you good.
Yeah, like, Cali. She collect like $15,000 a month. Something stupid.
But I don't think when Anthony Edwards signed his next Supermax, I don't think the judge is gonna say, "Nah, sis, he already gave you $5,000 a month. You good to go."
Yeah. No, it's gonna get readjusted. I'm almost certain, because I'm almost certain child support is a open case. Like, for real. Like,
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, I think it's like an open case. Like, until it's over, like until the kid age out, it's an open case. So man, never goes away. And courts love their jurisdiction.
My favorite part about baddies is knowing that they only know 17 words and they have to pause when they trying to read somebody so that they can find the other like 14 that they can
I won't give her that. I think Drea's smart.
I ain't talking about Drea, I'm talking about her.
I'm talking about Ayesha.
Drea is
she's diabolical. She's diabolical.
Drea, you would have me in a heartbeat. So I ain't gonna talk crazy.
I mean, that's the thing. You can't talk trash. Every guy will sit here. Okay, we coming in hot. But every guy will sit here and be like, "Man, bump them hoes." And then like, yo, when she become yours, it's like, I mean, bro, I found out she really wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Like, dudes fold like a cheap temp, bro, all the time. So I'm not blaming men for falling when you see a baddie.
Absolutely.
Like, all right, I get it.
Shout out to Drea. Hold on, let's start this podcast.
I'm Pastor Mike Will.
Now, I am Gavin B. Welcome to service. Sit down. The Black Dad's Club. What the hell is the point of this podcast? Let's do it like that.
If you are a black male and you're in a jam, hit me up. I'll get you out.
Trying to save black men.
We give black men a place to be seen, a place to be heard.
Sometimes I got to push back because be lying.
They do, but so do women. So that's what makes the pod cool.
Strap in. It's about to be fun.
Now let's begin.
I want to welcome everybody to episode 175 of the Black Dad's Club. That is Pastor Mike, South Carolina native. I ain't going to say he from Columbia because he from the outskirts. He be lying to y'all.
South Carolina's own.
The first boy dad that I knew. Yeah? No. It'd be lying to use the second one. When this man had his son, he disappeared on us. He left the group chat.
I went to go be a father. I missed the trip to Brazil, actually. Yeah. Rio, missed the trip.
The funny part is, I was telling somebody about Rio yesterday. I was telling one of my clients is hopping on a plane. He's currently on a plane now to Thailand.
Yeah.
And so I was telling him about Rio, how Justin Bieber messed up the spa scene down there. Justin Bieber, you owe people an apology.
What did Bieber do?
He killed Lean, which ain't a bad thing.
No.
But so when Justin Bieber had one of the Lean the bottles, whatever, he had it still in the actual like bottle, and that company no longer exists. Because he had it like on live or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, them white parents got that
Yeah.
company up out of there. Also, when he went to Rio, he went to one of the spas. You know, if you know, you know.
He don't win and raise the rates.
No. He came outside. It hit the blocks. That place no longer exists in Rio. So Justin Bieber messed it up. I wasn't able to go because it wasn't there no more. You know what I'm saying? I was just going to see what the sign on the outside looked like. That's all I wanted to see.
They got nice beaches.
But they do have nice beaches. But I was telling my client yesterday, like, about how cool Rio was, how it had some of the most underrated food. I loved it so much. Like, I have to give Rio that. The food was great. The people were great. A little dangerous. But what city's not a little dangerous? You go outside of Manhattan, you're going to be in danger. You go outside of Foggy Bottom in D.C., you're going to be in danger. You go outside of the harbor in Baltimore, you're going to be in danger. Go to Broad River.
Exactly. You're going to be in danger. I mean, it's danger everywhere. You go outside of Uptown Charlotte and hang out in, what is it?
West Boulevard?
It's going to be a little dangerous. So where is it dangerous?
Yeah, mind your business. That's all I tell you.
Mind your business. Pay attention to your surroundings.
I am Gavin B, or I am _Gavin B. Whatever, man. Y'all know the name.
You got to pick a name, man, because they got to be able to find you on social media.
Oh, if you're looking for me on social media, I am _Gavin B. If you type in Gavin B, I'm going to come up. Like, I'll be right there. Shout out to my girl, my wife, who left me, and then Mike came in today offering me to hang out tomorrow, knowing that she was gone.
I didn't know she was gone again.
Hey, man, she left me, man. Before we get started, I do want to tell everybody on May 2nd, Notes and Accord is having a cigar and scents event. Please check out their social media. Go sign up. It's at, hold on, I'm going to get y'all the actual time. So it's actually cool. So you get to make your own scents, and you get the, they're going to have a guy there hand rolling cigars. It's an actual dope ass event. It's at 7:00 on Friday, May 2nd. It's so they'll do the 1 hour hand rolling class, and then you get to make your own scents. I think it's super dope.
That is actually pretty dope.
Don't be shocked if you see me in there, but if you could do me a favor, it's gonna be in our bio. They are sponsoring this podcast, this episode. Please go to their page, sign up. Hey, fellas, this is the easiest way for your girl to do something for you without you like helping her out. Like, just send it to them. Like, yo, don't you want to do this?
Yeah, and it's it's a nice group activity, right? You get to hand roll the cigar, which is going to be cool. Rare experience, and then you get to make your own scent.
Yeah,
also rare.
Because some of y'all be stank.
Come on, man.
They do. I went to that damn photographer event in Vegas. I was like, yo, it smells in here.
Yeah, too many sweaty people, too many pheromones.
That's a nice way of putting it. How you want to start? Let's start. Let me get my lies off.
Yeah, go ahead and get your lies off.
So this past weekend, we got to play basketball. I had no intentions of Mike being there. Because
you dropped the invite.
Yeah, but what happened was I was at work. So I knew we was talking about hooping, but I was at work earlier. And then so Ryan, shout out to Ryan, he was like, yo, let's invite people. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I saw you was asking about the address, but I'm like, Mike stays 2 hours away. He's not coming.
Yeah, it's a good 40-minute jaunt.
And I was like, he ain't coming. So I thought it was Darnell coming down the hill. And I looked, I was like, and then I think Karina was like, is that Mike? And I'm like, that is Mike. We had a hoop session, a lot of cheating going on.
I wasn't no cheating going on.
Oh, it was a lot of cheating.
Wasn't no cheating going on.
I don't like the fact that y'all put the young boy that none of us knew on our team.
What you mean? He was hooping.
I think he was a little special.
He was hooping. That man hit some big shot. That's how
hit some big shots.
That's how y'all got up so far.
Oh yeah, we was up on y'all ass, and then
a Golden State Warriors type collapse. Y'all we was going to 12. So first off, these Negroes wanted to go to 16. I knew that wasn't happening in the sun on a concrete court with a bunch of 35-plus-year-olds.
That is true.
So I knew that. So I was like, all right, let's go to 11, right? Then we settled on 12.
There we go.
We settled on 12. Gav's team was up 11-3.
That is true. That is true. We was up 11-3. And to be fair, I hit the shot to go to 11.
Gavin hit the shot to take us to 11.
I walked off because I thought we was going to 11. I'm like, finally, this game is over. And they was everybody, nobody else moved. And I'm like, wait a second.
We was going to 12. Guys, I don't even know if we D'd them up or if they couldn't hit no more threes. Because that's how they got out so fast. They hit like 3 threes in a row, 4 threes in a row.
We couldn't hit nothing. Shep.
They lost 12-11 in the first game, bro.
Shep, first of all, Shep is strong as hell. That's what I learned that whole day. As I was probably the second smallest person out there besides the young boy who was on our team.
Oh, man.
Shep was pushing me. He moved me wherever he wanted me to go. And I was just like, I should have called a switch. But sometimes your pride get in there and I'm like, I ain't switching this shit. Oh. And then it just went downhill, more downhill. And before I knew it, it was 11-10. And I'm like, yo. And I'm thinking the young boy is going to run. Because by the way, I think Dom made the joke. He said, yo, my man's here ain't shot a shot. And he's talking about Mike.
Yes.
Mike was setting screens.
Yes.
And the young boy who's guarding Mike would not call a screen to save his life. And nor was he switching a screen, which pissed me off.
Oh, man. So I was at the top of the key because, for one, I'm the shortest person out there. And then, and two, I'm the oldest person out there. Mm-hmm. So I stayed up at the top of the key. And just anytime anybody started coming out of the vicinity, I would just set a screen, move out, get the ball, let them reset, throw it back to them, and let the young boys do what they do.
That young boy did not call.
Not trying to be a hero.
He didn't call not one screen, dog.
Even though I think I did average like 3 each game.
Oh gosh, here we go.
I think I had like 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists every game.
This boy did not call a screen to save his life. And then you know what's funny is, I don't know if it's the first or second game. I said, yo, we got to call. It had to be the second game. Yeah. I was like, yo, we got to call a screen. He was like, but you saw it. I'm like, if I'm telling you we got to call screens, it's because I did not see it.
Oh, man. Hey, good times, though. Good time. I am still sore today, by the way.
Yeah.
And what is today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
I am still sore today. So it can't be more than once a month. Sorry.
I got a little massage before my girl went out of town. I told her I want to role play and be like, she be the massage therapist. I think I'm going to try that.
Then you're not going to be able to get any more massages because she's going to be like, you are a creep. She's going to be like, no more. You only get them at the house now.
I'm gonna be like, yeah. Then she gonna be like, all right. And she knows one across the hall from the studio.
Yeah, she gonna be like, no more massages. She might want to hold off on that.
So I'm thinking June 8th. It's another Sunday. I think I want to do like a Black Dads Club, like we go back out there and run.
I once a month I could do.
Yeah, it's far enough.
Yeah.
It's far enough that we could plan it.
Yeah, once a month. I cannot do more. Like, don't y'all be like, yo, let's do this every week. No, so, I absolutely cannot.
Let me, y'all let us know in the comments if that's something y'all want to come to. And guys and girls, and the reason why, ladies, y'all gonna show up anyway, so it's no need of telling y'all not to.
Yeah.
Especially if y'all know it's gonna be some single dads there.
We should definitely do the commentary like you suggested.
Yes.
The pre and post game show. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Have the beers out there.
Shoot, June 8th, man, I might be down like another 7 pounds too. So I might even look better on camera.
Here we go. Speaking of the NBA, because that's where we're going. If we keep going every month.
We would definitely be at a game if we can get to 100,000 followers.
Absolutely. A game. Nah, Joe Budden want to start hoop sessions against podcasts.
That's actually a pretty good idea as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to have to be including that. Of course, he going to go to like, we will bust tail. We'll bust their ass, but we not busting Jeff Teague in them ass.
Well, no, we can't. No, we exclude them. Like, we could exclude former NBA players.
No, because that's who he playing against next. That's who he want to play against, Jeff Teague and Gilbert Arenas in them next.
Yeah, I'll be coaching that game.
Yeah, Joe, let us be the commentary. Like, let us do that. Let me be on the sidelines.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
but yeah, we'll bust Joe in them ass. We'll bust. Who else we get? I want to play Gillie and Wallo. Gillie swear he him.
I've seen Gillie. He actually can play a little bit.
See, I like Gillie because he talks shit.
Yeah, he can play a little bit. So we'll beat him though.
Yeah, we got y'all. Whenever y'all ready, y'all set it up. We'll hit it up. We're a micropod, so they just gonna think we extras out there anyway.
Hey man, we growing out of the micropod. Low key, I think by next summer we're gonna be up out of here. I'm just saying. Get your jokes off now.
Let's go back to South Carolina. Last week we was on South Carolina ass. We back on it. What's wrong with Ja Morant? How much money? How many hundreds of millions of dollars do he want to lose?
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing about Ja Morant, the reason why I really can't go in on him is because I think I'd be worse than him if I was his age with that amount of money. So it's like I understand it to a certain extent, but you still can't do it, right? Because right now the focus is on you. Because like somebody had made a clip that showed all the other players that were doing the same motion, right? But when Ja Morant does it, it becomes a big deal. And it's like, well, Ja Morant, you also was the person that was flying around with a gun and got caught. Right? These other people didn't get caught,
and
you got to
understand that go away.
And it made it go away for you. So you do have to understand that sad for you, you got caught. Everybody else didn't get caught. Right. So, I mean, just let it go. Like you don't have to want to be, a
thug.
The thug adjacent even. Like just be
I'm
rich.
Cool being thug adjacent.
Just be rich, right? Just get to a point like he can change his image right now. And at first everybody's gonna clown him, then everybody's gonna be like, you know what, that was smart.
Kobe did that.
Yeah. Great example.
Kobe did that.
Like just change it, just overnight, just be like, you know what? I'm Tom Ford suits, Gucci belts, Ferragamo shoes. That's just who I am now.
The transition of Kobe from what he was with Shaq of being like a snitch. Yeah. Like most people don't know that most men did not like Kobe when he was playing with Shaq because he was snitching on everybody. He was very like standoffish, right? Yep. Then Colorado happened, so it was kind of weird. And it was like that moment, it's like Shaq is gone, I'm coming back, and I changed my number, I changed my hair, I changed shoe deals. Yeah. I changed everything. And then by the end of his career, he was like the loving dad that every player respected, all past player respected. Yep. And then it went to the stratosphere, of course, on his passing. But even like that last game, he got everybody there.
Yeah, Ja Morant could just change, just overnight. Just say, you know what? That's who I was. This is who I'm going to become.
Because Ja Morant, I'm looking at you saying, all right, bro, you already cost yourself, what, $70 million?
I mean, dude, you said, I mean, he's in the 9-figure territory now.
Yeah, you can slip up and lose out on 250 and not even, you can retire and have lost 250.
And they make so much money that at their age, they're not really looking at it. But I promise you're going to look back and be like,
I could use that.
Damn.
Yeah.
If I had an extra 100 right now, I could have did X, Y, and Z.
Look, you gonna look up one day, it's going to be 7 years and we're going to be like, why is he not in the league no more?
But it is youth. And it's also that we don't really. So one of the things that a lot of successful tech founders have and a lot of successful like finance people have is they have like career coaches. And it's one of the places that I actually want to move into, like the space that I want to move into. But we don't really have that for entertainers. No. Right. And that's what your manager is supposed to be. But your manager is just trying to collect their 20%
and go home.
So it's like these guys really don't have anybody to be like, hey, man, if you do it this way, you're going to make this.
Yeah. And I just feel like with him,
I could brand you into this.
I don't get what happens with people that's from a 2-parent home. And something ain't sweet. It ain't a city. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's still a small town. And opportunities are lacking there, but you grew up in a nice way. When I say it like that, you got your people at home. You're not growing up as a thug. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then you transition to like, a lot of it got to do you in Memphis. So you grow up with this generation of the music, the entertainment stuff. Then all right, here go $160 million, and you in Memphis, and we know what type of time they on. And it's not sweet over there.
You're in the clubs. You're there with everybody else that's popping bottles. 20 chains, entourage, and it's like, all right, I'm getting caught up into that.
Yeah, and I hope somebody, I ain't gonna pull the Kenyon Martin and just blame T.
No, I mean, because Ja Morant's not a kid anymore, and I know, like, and y'all know, I do not infantilize adults ever, and even though he's young, and like I said, I clearly started us off. It was like, yo, at his age, if I had that kind of money, I would have been worse. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I do have some sympathy for him, or empathy, I guess I should say. Yeah. But he has to grow up, and we all do. Like, that's a big part.
Absolutely. And Zion, I'm gonna talk about South Carolina sports people one day. I ain't gonna go in on y'all.
Hey, I thought you would forever say Zion was from Salisbury.
Yeah, but I always said if he start messing up, that's definitely the South Carolina coming up. I'm definitely gonna Zion.
That's y'all boy.
He was only there till he was 2.
Y'all boy came back though. Went to college there and everything.
He did, man. Poor Zion, dog. Like that draft class. I mean, I got to look at that was supposed to be the next leader. And we're gonna get to it. That's the reason why LeBron should have retired 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And the NBA probably looked at LeBron and said, "Please don't retire. Do us a solid. Don't retire." And with that, you're gonna break every record that's never gonna be broken again.
Dude, Zion is a hooper though. Like I really hope he can keep his weight under control.
He can't.
And
it's been too many years of that.
Yeah, like keep his weight under control and then keep working on that jumper because like the dude is a hooper.
Yeah, when he's there, he's there. I mean, Ja, when he's there, he's there. But these boys is just wow. Oh my gosh, they want to be rappers so bad. Like that's the thing that pissed me off. Zion effing porn star. You seen her body when she was walking? Never mind, let me stop.
Yeah, it's
wrong doctor.
Yeah, wrong doctor. You got to go to what's it? Dr. Miami and somebody else online.
The dude they call something dolls. I found it, but he call them dolls. Like it's his name and dolls. And his work is nice.
Yeah. Like
I was like, God, Lee, and he do like full before and after. He be showing. I'm like, yo,
yeah, he's legit.
Shout out to all the doctors out there. I'm gonna be 6'3" by the end of once we get some money. Y'all gonna see what's gonna happen. Hold on. Before we do this, I do want to say this. Shannon Sharpe, finally, you got it right. I wrote this under your post. We are so glad that you are done interviewing people that just got famous during COVID that should never been interviewed a day in their life.
That is true.
The fact that you sat down with what's his name? Damon Wayans. Thank you. These are the interviews we want to see.
Yes. Like go and grab the people that are huge in the industry and like let them kind of tell us like what their path was. Because I mean, I learned. Some of these things you kind of had an inkling of, but to listen to him tell the stories, I was like, man,
yeah, I don't need to see insert whoever name here.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be honest. I didn't even think to click on that Just Hilarious interview.
No,
because why are you interviewing her?
What is she gonna say?
What is she gonna say? And stop getting up there apologizing to all these girls because you was horny as hell. Like it makes it even weirder that you it's like a humiliation kick at this point. Like, oh, I'm sorry that I was horny as hell. You interviewing Meg Thee Stallion. I'm sorry for what I said. I was like, bros, don't bring up the creepy.
Yeah, don't bring it up. And also, you don't have to apologize for just it's Twitter. Right? I mean,
yeah, and some of us know you old niggas is horny.
Everybody's horny.
Not me.
Well, you're a married man. You should not be horny.
I told Ryan I wasn't horny yesterday. He said, send me an update screenshot of your Explorer page there. I ain't send that shit over. I said, never mind. And Mike know what my Explorer page look like because I sent it to him last week.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
It's disgusting.
He's really into that stuff. He's really into that.
Back to, let me go to Mr. Wayans right quick. Hold on. Here we go. This nigga said, you really into that. Duh. Titties, nigga.
84 or something like that. So I didn't.
Damn, you ain't get a chance to enjoy the single life of your stand-up.
I did. I broke up my marriage. Don't worry. Don't worry. I broke up my marriage.
This man's sick. Oh, I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. And I regret it.
Really?
Yeah, because when in show business, you think that this chemistry you got with this person, this actress is like special and pure. And then what you don't realize is she gonna go do that on the next role with somebody else. And you be like, but I left my wife for you. Yeah. You know what? Tell her the stuff you told my character. She'll take you back. You be like,
damn.
What? Yeah.
What do you learn about marriage? What do you learn about yourself during marriage?
It's cheaper to keep her. That's what I learned. Or cheaper to kill her.
Keep her. We gonna kill her.
But I think marriage is a beautiful arrangement. I was just too young and dumb to know that back then.
Are you on good terms?
Yeah. Here's what's crazy is, for the longest, like she and I would, we never said it to each other, but we just made up our minds that we can't let the grandkids feel our resentment. And there was resentment, She'd come in and sit over there and I'd sit over there. And then probably about 7 years ago. I was over at Junior's house, family gathering, because kids would invite her to barbecues at my house, and it's fine, you know. And what it was is the fear of having to relitigate what happened in the marriage.
Right.
And I know I messed up. Right. I messed up, so I don't want to deal. That's why I pay you alimony, so I don't have to deal with that, right? But about 7 years ago, we were over at Junior's house, and we're sitting outside.
I can stop it.
And
you know what? We can start where you want to start at with it, and when I insert.
I mean, we can start with him saying he regretted.
Yeah.
All right, because I think that's like the most obvious thing that most men don't really understand. Because when you head towards divorce, you think like, I need this freedom, right? For whatever reason. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be your fault. You always think, I need this freedom. And then once you finish it, you kind of do go back through it and be like, damn, where could we have avoided this, right? So you do regret it. Now, you're going to get guys in the comment section that's be like, I don't regret it. I do not regret it. And it's like, yo, no, you left for a reason, right? Especially when men file, because typically we don't file. Typically, women file for divorce. I think college-educated women is like 80% do the filing. But 20% of men do file, so I get it. Like, those men are like, yeah, I got to go. I got to get out of here. But you do look back and be like, damn, where did I mess up? So I think him reflecting on that, I did hear it almost sounded, you know, and this isn't me projecting, right? Because I'm not trying to go back home to my wife, ex-wife, right? This is me saying what I hear of. It does sound like, damn, I miss my wife.
Absolutely. That's why I asked you where you want to start, because I wanted to go there.
Yeah.
You could tell you miss her. Also, we need to get to a point, and I ain't saying I want this to happen in my house. Skip my house, Lord. You know, when they did Prince of Egypt, they used to put the blood over the house when Passover happened. Skip my house, Lord. It seems sometimes we need to get to this point of, hey, our relationship changed, or and going back to that place.
Yeah.
Because clearly he said, I stepped out, I broke up my marriage so I can go do whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now it sounds like me and her, I'm finding that fun back in my wife, which is funny because last night, me and Corinna sitting on the couch and we just talking, and then so we start talking about when we had the most fun.
Yeah.
Cause like now we having like so much fun now.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, like when we was at the end of college, we were still working, but you know, we was going out Friday, Saturday, doing brunch on Sundays, just enjoying each other. And we was like, yo, it's not even that now we have a kid. It was just like, then it wasn't no pressure on this. It's like, yo, we just here. And it was funny because last night she was like, yo, we need to go somewhere. We could do that. Because when we go on vacation, sorry, if you want a photo shoot while I'm on vacation, I can't do it. There's no need of emailing you back. Yeah. I can't do it. And I don't have that pressure to do it. I write everybody, hey, I'm going to email you back when I get back home. Yeah. And we was having that conversation, like, we got to get back to doing that. So, and it does sound like he misses her. And now that their relationship has changed, he kind of likes that, but it sounds like no pressure. Also, like, he talked about dating his nephew's ex-girl.
Yeah. I saw that.
And he talked about before he met her, he was like, yo, I was lonely for 2 years.
Yeah.
And like, that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I took 2 years and I was just by myself. Like, and I know in them 2 years, you probably like, what the hell going? Because you're not famous. I mean, you're on TV, excuse me. You're super famous, but you're not, and you doing like, your life has changed. And then it's kind of like, yo, what the hell, man? Like,
and you need that space. Like, I applaud him for not dating his nephew's ex. I don't think he knew it was his nephew's ex until
that's why
they brought it. Yeah.
Y'all sold that as though he knew he was backdooring his nephew. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that wasn't the case. But, you know, I applaud him for also taking that time to be like, all right, I need to be alone. And like I said, you are alone, but it's one of those things where you're like, all right, I can't run through this again. I can't do this again. Mm-hmm. So I applaud him for not being the guy that gets married right after he gets divorced just to get divorced again.
Yeah.
Like I applaud him for that. And it's funny that they played that clip about dating a nephew's ex, because somebody had put a comment on one of our old posts, our olds from February, where we're saying like, don't date your homeboy's girl. Yeah. And someone had added to their shady comment. They were like, this is shady as hell. Like, how is it shady not to date? They were like, because you were saying that like she's beneath you. And it's like, no, I don't want to date one of my friends' girl or ex-girl.
I hate 60% of the internet.
Yeah. What do you mean this is shady that I won't date one of my friends' exes? Y'all are weird sometimes. Y'all try to pretend that we're weird when we have any sort of like, all right, I'm not going to do that. Like, bro, there has to be, chances are I've known my guy friend longer than I've known her, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to throw a friendship away to get laid.
Absolutely not. And it's kind of like whenever I meet my dudes, my homeboys, girls, it's like, all right, I don't look at her sexually like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, cool, all right, she's pretty, cool, boom. Like, we
Keep
done.
it moving. Like, it's a respect thing amongst men.
Yeah, I'm not finna look at your girl and be like, damn, like, not even that I want her, but I don't even look at her and be like, oh, she fine as hell.
Yeah.
And then, and then when I find out she's single, I'm like, let me go.
Let me slide in the inbox. Like, no, like, that's not,
yeah,
that's no
because most of
loyalty
my
at all.
homeboys, like, especially the guys, I'm at that age now that if I see your girl, she kind of like my sis, like sis, like whatever. And I'm the person who take that serious as far as like, I ain't trying to holler at my sis, whatever. But y'all know how that go.
But if you accidentally, date a chick that one of your homeboys used to date, like, I do think, like, nephew told like, hey, I used to kick it with her back in the day.
Yeah, I think she told him, like, I think the story is he met up with her, he was talking to her, and she was like, yo, I used to talk to your nephew. And he was like, oh, shoot. And then he called his nephew. His nephew was like, yo, do what you want. Like, and so clearly that means it wasn't that serious.
Yeah, it wasn't that serious.
But, the internet, they find some Instagram pictures and they running with it. He's sleeping with I'm like, oh.
Hey, what Damon said, if you saw it, I saw.
Oh,
you don't understand.
I love. That's the problem with comedians. You don't know if they joking or if they dead ass. And if they dead ass, you kind of just got to be like, that's fucking hilarious. Hold on.
My actions, I literally just lost my family through being what you talked about. Like, I was the strong provider. I wasn't there emotionally. I wasn't empathetic. I wasn't
Come on, man, Barnes.
willing to share those emotions. And that was stuff that my ex would tell me, like, you're a wall. And then again, trying to dig back and understand and starting counseling that, like you said, little Matt from back then is still hurt and still trying to find his way. Although grown Matt seems like he has it all, little Matt is there more than I realized. So my question is, like, to all those men that can't or feel like they can or just won't, tears won't come out. I know it's such a refreshing and helpful and good thing to do as a man, but how do you cry if you don't? I don't want to say I don't know how to cry because I've cried before, but I haven't cried in probably 30 years.
You're guarded.
Too much.
You have to change your perspective of what crying is. You still, deep inside of you, you still believe it's a sign of weakness. It's really is a sign of you being human. And until we get to the place where we can release it, that's when you always feel this rage, this anger, never feeling settled. You gotta smoke some weed. You gotta get something to drink. You need to call that girl. And you don't even hear it taught enough about contentment. Like, when is enough is enough? Why do I have to keep grinding and keep going? That's not peace. And then speaking of peace, which it seems like the majority of
that's speaking, that was Jason, what's his name? Jason Wilson?
Sure.
Yeah, I believe that was Jason Wilson speaking.
What you think?
So one of the things that I've noticed, because I'm a noticer.
Okay.
I've made this observation that a lot of individuals, when they say this, you have this child that's in you and you're an adult, that a lot of that comes from a lack of a father figure in the home growing up.
Maybe, but go ahead.
Yeah. That's just one of the things that I'm noticing. So, because here's the thing, I believe that if you live a balanced life, from 8 to 10 is a stage, 10 to 13 is a stage, 15 to 16 is a stage, right? There's stages in your life, and at every level there's a growth that happens, and then you look back at the person you were and say, man, that person's it's a little bit embarrassing, right? Okay. But that's what growth should look like. You should always look back and be like, hey, man, that's different, right? When it comes to this question, can men cry, right? Like, the obvious answer is yes, right? But men have to also understand that there's also a penalty for when, how, where, why. And that does not change just because any guy out there wishes that changes.
Okay, I hear you. My only pushback to that is like when I hear that inner child, what I think about is when you go through therapy and you sit down with therapists and they try to walk you through what you're going through today.
Yeah.
April 9th or whatever today is, 2025. They're probably going to go back to when you were a child and figure out where was those blocks that went up. And that happens.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like what he's talking about with Matt is, yo, you do have blocks that you've guarded yourself from so that you don't allow. And I'll give you an example. When we did I Know Grease things, there was a guy in there who said, hey, I used to have certain relationships with people because growing up, this happened to me as a child.
Yeah.
Then I met this woman and I would immediately, when I ran into this wall, it was like, boom, block, I'm out.
Yeah.
And you keep doing that. And then he was like, finally, I got to this age and I'm married, I have a child. And then finally, I just realized like, oh, shoot, I cannot do this because my kid is going to see it. So when I look at the inner child part that way, it's like blocking it. Now, and also, I didn't see like, is there going to be consequences to men crying? Sure, but that's just a small stage of looking at it. I think that's just almost immature of looking at it because it's like you could be crying in the room by yourself. I think I look at it as like it's not a more importantly of men crying, but men's emotions. Like, can you express your emotions? Sometimes your emotions is you crying. Sometimes it's you being angry. Sometimes it's you being aggravated, you being quiet.
Let me be clear. I'm pro men crying.
Cool.
All right. Let me be clearer. I'm pro men crying with themselves.
Okay.
All right. And the reason why I say that is again, when you are following a leader, what you expect out of that leader is for them to be confident, right? Mm-hmm. And you want to feel that they know something that you don't know, and it's going to get you through a situation. I don't ever want to be on the battlefield and I look over there at the general and he's crying.
Absolutely, but right? That's because we're at war.
Yeah. Well, typically, whenever a man cries, he's at war with something, right? It's either a loss or it's attrition. It's typically something that he's battling, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the time, it's not tears of joy, right?
Yeah.
So
sometimes we got to get out of that. Only time you need to be crying is then. I think it's a lot of things. We do grow up, and the first thing we tell boys is stop that, no crying. I'm guilty of that with my son, and he's 3. And I'm guilty of, hey, stop that crying. Like, we don't have time for that right now. And it's not it ain't even like a weak thing. It's like most time with me, it's like, I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because he's 3 now. So he'll cry because he know he in trouble.
Yeah.
No, you ain't got to cry now. But when he falls and he's outside, I'm not picking him up telling him not to cry. You hurt yourself, right?
Yeah.
But
and I think that's growth and maturity because, I mean, I'm very, very similar. Same way, right? You know, if you're crying and you're frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Like, my son thought he had deleted his Call of Duty game the other day because they were doing an update.
Nah.
And he came in there with tears in his eyes and he was like, Dad, have you ever deleted your whole game before? And I was like, son, I've deleted my game before. I've deleted papers. And I said,
some nudes.
Some nudes.
Some videos.
And I was like, I didn't say that part. But I looked at him. He had tears in his eyes. And I said, I felt exactly how you feel. Right? So where you at right now, I get it, right? But you know what, though? This is typically when you learn. This is typically when you learn to be more careful. Yeah. But before we get upset, let's get through this update and let's see if it's actually deleted, right?
Absolutely.
So he wanted to cry, right?
Yeah.
I understood why he wanted to cry. But I was like, you know what? This might not be the time yet.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. And then I think like people like Matt Barnes. Sorry, Matt Barnes, I ain't trying to be judging. I could tell some of the shit you just say here, watching your basketball career, that you was an angry person and you had a lot of internal stuff. He played with that edge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you know.
He has one of the most impressive basketball careers. When I say impressive, not like on the court, but the way he came into the league, stuck into the league, was able to get second and third contracts with his limited skill set was actually impressive. Like, I think Matt Barnes came in the league, like, I think he barely made it. I think he had like 2 10-day contracts, if I'm not mistaken. And then, you know, they end up keeping him. Then he ended up getting like a real contract. Then he got a second. So it's like, that's a story of perseverance right there.
Not even that. What you did after basketball.
Yeah.
There was a time when it was Joe Budden, Charlamagne, Matt Barnes, and Steven Jackson.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it. It was them 4 and Nori.
Yeah.
It was them 5. It was like, all right, now we have that. Now this also explains to me, he said it. I lost my family.
Yeah.
it sucks when men emotions cost them that much. Like, how much is your emotions going to cost you is one of the saddest things I have to see with men. And which is why I like what we're saying is you got to teach your sons how to be in control of their emotions, right?
Exactly. Because, him, again, if he just cries every time he's mad or frustrated, he doesn't have a full range of those emotions, right?
Yeah.
But also, one of the things that I want to point out is that, it's not, we could say it's okay for men to cry. And I guarantee you right now, if you go home and told your wife you lost your job and you was crying, and then you came back every time you got denied from a job, you was crying, I guarantee you she's not going to be turned on. She's going to leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
She's not going to be like, oh, you're so in tune with your emotions. Oh my God. No, she's going to be like, yeah, I'm sick of this. I'm ready to leave.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you're the complete opposite, she going to leave too.
She's also going to leave. Yes.
Yeah.
If you're the complete opposite, she's also going to leave. So what we are saying is the same thing, just coming from different sides.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be a balance there, and I typically don't buy into the everybody, because I think the vast majority of us are fine, right? Mm-hmm. We might have issues. I mean, look, we got human issues, right? But like most of us are not like mentally unwell, right? Most of us are just in bad environments 9 times out of 10, right?
What you say about Lizzo? You not unattractive? You just
fat. Oh yeah. No, that goes for me too. I'm losing weight also. None of us are ugly. We're just fat. Right? So I think most of the time we're just in bad environments. And I hate when I see, give you a good example. I was listening to NPR probably about 3 weeks ago, and they were talking about the male, I'm doing air quotes right now, loneliness epidemic, right? So they're going through this, right? And this is ideal that men are lonely, and this is causing problems and incel and all this other BS, right? So when they gave the number of men that were actually lonely in the male loneliness epidemic, which was about friendships, not romantic relationships when they first made this terminology, by the way, like what percentage of male do you think it was?
If I had to guess, niggas that's lonely is 27%.
Okay, it was actually listening. It was actually 16% of men.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it wasn't. So the vast majority of men aren't lonely, right?
Absolutely.
But they're creating a loneliness epidemic. Now, if there's a male loneliness epidemic, that would mean that you could say that will there be a woman loneliness epidemic, right?
That's a good assumption.
So guess what the percentage of women that were lonely, that said that they were lonely? Don't even guess. I'm gonna just give it to y'all. It was 1% less. It was 15%, right? But the narrative is male loneliness, right? Despite the fact that women are just as lonely as men. By percentages, it would actually be, by numbers, excuse me, it would be more women that are lonely because women outrate men in the world, right? But it's like, so again, when I see these conversations that we're having, it kind of bothers me because it's always the men that does have a father womb or a lack of father access. And then they're speaking on men and masculinity. And I'm like, hold on. Because if men that were okay with masculinity spoke, you get pissed off. You'd be like, this is misogynist. This is toxic. This is not how men are. And it's like, well, 85% of us, or excuse me, 84% of us are fine. Right? We can't let the 16% take the narrative in the story.
And they listen to us, so they ain't lonely. Exactly. I did like how, circling back.
Yeah.
Damon, I love when I found it interesting when he started talking about how he loved LeBron because he looked at all the other people and they took their dad, they broke them up from their dads, like black. Elitist is the wrong word, but like royalty like that. He talked about Beyonce. He talked about, who else? He talked about Joe Jackson and Michael, Beyonce and Matthew. He said they aren't able to do that with LeBron. I did find that whole conversation interesting because
Shannon might be part of the problem that he was talking about.
Well, no. I find it interesting. Sometimes they don't like highlighting when it comes to us as black people, the people who have 2-parent households.
They do not, and they push when people have that lack.
Yeah,
right. That
was a big part of LeBron's story.
That becomes the story, and it's like that's not who he is, right?
It's not.
If you heal beyond that, right? Like you don't have to live with that forever.
Yeah.
Anything that's wrong with you emotionally, right? Unless it's a real chemical imbalance, right?
Yeah.
But if it's just something that happened, it doesn't even have to be trauma, right? It's just something that happened and bothered you. You can move beyond that.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting because now, mind you, LeBron's skill was going to get him exactly where he deserved anyway.
Yes.
But a big of that thing is, hey, this young mom, she getting him this Hummer. She had to drop him off at these people's house for this amount of months while she figured life out, whatever that means. Cool. And now, we focus so much on that. We don't focus enough on like who LeBron is today as a father. Now, in the NBA, finally, y'all in ESPN, I don't watch ESPN, so I might be just lying here. Seem like y'all didn't got off. Y'all realize y'all sound crazy.
Well, I mean, I think because they've ran off all of the quote unquote masculine men.
Yeah, I think they click on that. And like I said, I think we said this on your live. When Michael Wilbon, who was on ESPN, who's a respected black commentator,
one of the greatest of all time,
more respected than Stephen A.
I was just about to say that.
When he gets on there and say, yo, we told him, nah,
we're not talking about it.
Then it's like, all right, cool. Also, before we go to the next subject, going back to Mike's live from last week. Hey, man, the McDonald's dude, man, you can't do that, dog. Apparently, he always dropped them kids off at McDonald's and go run.
Yeah, and look, I didn't have enough of the story.
I came out after the live.
Yeah. Look, I did shoot him bail. I did.
You did.
And here's the thing. I'm gonna always shoot black men bail. Whether you're innocent or guilty, I'm gonna shoot you bail. I really, really am. But when you're wrong, you're wrong.
Come on,
right?
You can't drop the kids off.
You can't be dropping the kids off. Like, because now I know you're dropping the kids off to go do something dumb or stupid.
Oh, make another one.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, bro, like chill.
Yeah, like, and it's like, dude, that pissed me off. First of all, I was ready to go in on you in the comments, but I was trying to figure out if I was getting laid that night. No, Karina wasn't. Was she? Nah, she wasn't.
I don't know. You might want to figure that out. Before you say that, Hey, speaking of which, we will be live tonight. Y'all won't hear this pod till tomorrow. Even if it drops tonight, you're not gonna hear it till tomorrow. But I need to make sure I post that. We are going live tonight.
Yes. No, I wasn't getting none that night. That is true. Thank you to my wife. But at the same time, I was like, yo, Mike shooting this nigga bail. My camera just went off. I gotta go over there and reset it. That shit pissed me off. Hold on, give me 1 second. I was actually working on it yesterday. I was like, oh, now I can't organize.
How has having daughters changed you?
Man. in ways that I can't even imagine, because I'm nowhere near the type of disciplinarian my father was. Like, I'm not putting any type of hands on my daughters in any way, shape, or form. My oldest daughter, she's 16. You know, I snapped at her about something. We going back and forth about something. I had to check myself and realize, like, oh, this don't got nothing to do with her. You know, it's something I'm projecting onto her. I'm projecting my fears onto her the same way I said my father raised me out of fear and not love. So when you apologize, I remember apologizing to my 16-year-old daughter, and she said to me, it's okay, you've never done this before. Meaning this is your first time as a father. This is your first time raising a 16-year-old girl, which is very true. Like, so I'm not going to always get it right. And you think about how, man, you long for like just apologies from your parents. Cause I know a lot of the things that they might've done to us when we were younger, they didn't know any better. They were just doing the best they could with the knowledge and the information and the wisdom they had at the time. So it's the same thing now. So when you ask me how my daughter's changed me, I really don't know yet. I just know I am being changed.
Well, I really want to acknowledge you and your wife for something. And
that's good.
Yep.
Like it.
Shout out to Charlamange and Mel. I don't know who Mel is.
Mel Robbins is actually one of the biggest female podcasters out there. And,
shout out to you, Mel.
Yeah,
bring us on.
And their side. Yeah, no, she actually has some good.
Their side. I love it.
Yeah, she actually has some good books on productivity. She does get on my nerves though with she does that inner child thing a lot, and it just irks to me. It's gonna be okay, man. I know, man. It irks.
We
me
need to figure out what's Mike's inner child right now.
Michael's inner child is 46. Like, it's grown. Like, it's a grown up.
I'm gonna talk to your sisters. They gonna tell me nothing. Mama gonna definitely let me know.
Yeah, like, no, like, you get to be who you want to be when you grow up. But one of the things that I do like about this clip, and you know, I'm always skeptical of Charlamagne. You know, I'm not really the biggest fan, even though he's a South Carolinian.
Here you go.
But I like what he said. There was, you know, him and his wife has raised their daughters in such a place where, she has the space to, accept an apology. Mm-hmm. Right? Because that's the biggest thing I took from that is that he was just like, yo, my bad. I overreacted from something.
Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it got nothing to do with you. And she was just like, hey, I get it. Like that's I don't want to say like raising your kids right, but that's definitely raising your kids in a way that they're going to communicate with you. And I think as fathers, that's really, really important because sometimes we are the authoritarian, the disciplinarian, and it makes it hard to, for your child to be like, man, I really got something I need to discuss with you, but I don't know how you're going to react.
You know what's funny is I wanted to talk to my dad about something, and I was in college, and I did not know how to talk to him about it. And so I went to go talk to his mama. And I remember I go see my grandma, and she's there, and she's like, she looked at me, she said, you want to talk to your dad about something? That's the first thing my grandma, after I said, hey, grandma, how you doing? I was like, I need to talk to you. She said, what you need to talk to your dad about? And she looked at me, she said, your dad is good. Just talk to him.
Yeah.
Like he's good at this. Like just understanding. And talk to my dad about something stupid.
Yeah. I mean, of course. Like you're young. Everything our children bring us is going to be stupid.
Yeah. It wasn't deep. It wasn't that deep. And I ain't even do what I was going to ask him to do.
Yeah.
And so that's the funny part. But I love what he said. I don't raise my kids out of fear.
Yeah.
I remember watching my dad do that, especially with my sister.
Yeah.
I think that's what the church did.
Absolutely. I think that's almost natural, right?
That's a generation.
The country is ruling itself out of fear right now, right? So
absolutely.
So it's like it's a natural thing, and the mature thing is to be like, all right, I gotta do the opposite, right? I gotta work with you in love. I gotta work with you in care.
Yeah.
So,
and I remember when that switch went off for my dad, because I think my sister said something to him about that. Not about him particular, but like the church and how that affected him. And like, yo, you raising me like you scared.
Yeah.
And I think a light bulb went off on him and he was just like, I'm letting that dominate my actions because I have this fear that X, Y, and Z gonna happen. Shit, if it happens, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that change. And I remember for me, that's one thing I try not to do with my son. And I know it's easier because he's a boy.
People say that. I don't know if it is.
I don't know yet. We ain't got daughters.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, my understanding of my daughter is different because she isn't physically as capable, right? Which means she's more susceptible. But that fear for your boys is just as much, right? Because with your son, you're not really worried about them being overpowered by one person, right? But you are worried about like several people overpowering them, which is probably going to be worse.
Absolutely.
Than one person overpowering them.
And I'm probably going to put a snippet of it at the end of this podcast, but I sat with two fathers yesterday. We talked, and both of their sons have autism.
Yeah.
And shout out to Ken and Ma, they came on, and Ken was talking about his son, and I asked them like how having a child on the spectrum affects his parenting. And number one thing he said, I have a no excuses policy in my house. And he said, I think it's easier because I have a son.
Yeah.
Even though he's on the spectrum, it's no excuses. So I think, and we talked about that all the time, like men are like that. You could look at, hey, bro, you ain't got no excuses. It's women don't have no excuses, but it is going to come a time where they will break you. And the other part of this is I look at it as like every dad you talk to that have daughters, they say, yo, I treat them different than my sons. And that is how it is. So I'm interested to see. Hopefully I get a daughter this summer, you know what I'm saying? Shout out. Well, we start on one. Hopefully we start on one this summer.
Kevin putting the pressure out there. Like, my goodness, man.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we try.
Just let it happen.
You got to plan these things. Bro, the days of not planning kids.
It's over.
It gots to be, bro. That is tough cookies out here. We was going to talk about her money talks, but she switched her life over like Brittany Renner, so...
Yeah, and that was old. I see it was trending. It's coming back. Some clips just don't die. I have one, that Gavin clip that just won't freaking die.
Run the numbers up.
It's like it just won't die.
Hit 2 million in 2 months.
I'm like, y'all gonna show my wife this, aren't you?
Yeah,
like the moment I get married, they're gonna be like, hey girl.
Did you know your man said this? And it's gonna be over for you. And I love that.
Not, 'cause I'm gonna show it to her first. Yeah. And like, she knows that she's marrying.
Well,
that was a story from my 20s.
Yeah. Only thing I do is show them the 2 minutes before that clip was recorded. And then they're gonna be like, all right. She's gonna be like, all right, why are you showing me this? Hold on, man. Let's get into some BS. Shout out to Google Docs. Y'all slowing me up, but it's all good. Here we go.
Now, there are celebrities who have accepted the poly and non-monogamous relationships. Some we know, Will Smith and Jada. They've been open about they have an open relationship.
But Will like guys.
Huh?
Will like guys.
How you know?
Yeah.
Corey?
I live in L.A. Does that make sense to you?
No.
You don't.
I live in Los Angeles. There's a lot of opportunities I don't get because the guys don't want me to see them with their boyfriends. And I've suffered from that. It's like everybody know anyway. Everybody know anyway. So I'm saying like, do you think me saying Will like guys, because I said it and I can't take it back.
Yeah.
Because I believe it. I know it for the most part. Okay. By me saying that, I hope it doesn't strike a nerve in anybody, but I'm saying I live in LA.
Yeah.
And there's a lifestyle that is kept quiet.
A secret society.
Yeah. And it's
Here
like
go Cam.
Yeah.
people like me suffer from this lifestyle because of the shame that some guys have of how they like to move. And I don't think that however you move is something you should hold against me.
I hate that logic. And all right, let me tell you something. This whole Corey Holcomb full of shit. He has been full of shit for years. I think he's going to die that way. He comes off as the, and I remember somebody pointed this out to me about my photography podcast. It's like, yo, stop just being the devil's advocate, negative person and just going down like, yo, I got an issue with everything.
Yeah.
And I try my best not to do that. Now, if you catch me off mic, you catch me off podcast, maybe. But for the most part, I try to do that. Corey seems like that person. Corey, you did not get this far in your career, or you did not reach the heights of your career because undercover dudes in the industry didn't want to bring their boyfriends around you.
No.
That ain't what happened.
No. Here, the thing with Corey is, like, for one, we know what Hollywood is, right? And we know what entertainment is in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But one of the things that nobody likes, especially men, is we don't like people to run their mouth.
Absolutely.
And that's Corey's problem.
That is Corey's problem. Because why are you even giving this up?
You don't even have to mention this on Cam's pod.
Absolutely.
About Will Smith. You can mention Will Smith and not include anything else that you think you know or do know about Will Smith. And that part right there, I think men, we don't like chatty catty men, right? We don't gossip per se. We like to say we share information. We share pertinent information like, hey, you need to know this. But what we don't do is like, hey, I'm gonna go and put this on the megaphone.
And also, I mean, I might be stepping on the ledge on this I might be stepping on the ledge. I don't like when you niggas be homophobic and then y'all find unique ways to like hide it, as far as like, I don't know why your life choices got to affect me. No, nigga, just say that you got a problem with that. And the reason why I know you got a problem with it, because this was totally unnecessary. We don't care.
Yeah.
And you tried to sneak in, it don't matter, when it clearly does matter, because you getting on one of the top platforms and you got Cam Newton looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? Because I do believe
Cam was like, where are you going with this?
What are you doing with this?
Where are you going?
Clean it up, please. Find a way. Because there is certain people that you mess with, you won't be working no more.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is Cam Newton still signed to ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let this go the wrong way. And let me tell you something. I laughed my ass off this morning when Kerry Hilson got on the Breakfast Club and said, oh, yeah, I was pressured by the industry to make a diss track against Beyonce. That bitch ain't worked since then. Why would you do that? You didn't even put it out, but it leaked.
Yeah.
And you ain't worked again.
It's certain fights that you don't want to pick.
Yeah.
I won't go as far as say homophobic. I think Corey's still under the impression that it matters. And I think most men have gotten to the point now where we're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, them old ass niggas, man. These niggas from the 60s all the way down to 85, man, be worried about the wrong shit.
Man, I wouldn't even say that far. I think most men my age, like, yo, it doesn't matter no more. But to your point, like, there's certain people you don't pick fights with. Like, we had a comment where a young lady had said, you know, it's always men like this, men that look like this that have these takes. And I thought it was the side chick clip, right? I click on, it's the clip where we just talking about, like, you know, men not receiving respect, right? So I just go, you know, I click on her page, see what she looks like. And then I'm just like, all right, ma'am, right? And I just leave it at that, right? And then she comes, and so, but then when I went back to her page, I was like, this ain't a fight we can pick, right?
Yeah.
Not a fight you, but this is a well-known comedian, evidently. I didn't know who she was, but pretty well-known, well over 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
Not a fight we can pick.
Yeah, sometimes, but look, one of them comedians got in our shit. She was talking about me. I flamed her ass up though. Cause I find some jokes. My jokes ain't gonna be funny. I go personal.
Yeah, you do.
I like to go one step too close.
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah,
but to your point though, it's like, in the industry, if somebody else might have influence or impact, you kind of got to step over that. And Corey refuses to step over any landmine.
Any landmine. And let everybody know, niggas be gay. Okay?
I think
in y'all industry, especially in entertainment
I'm about to say it's entertainment industry.
Nobody
sports is included in entertainment. I include sports in that.
The way they act now, absolutely.
Yeah,
and nobody gives a damn. Like, we didn't cover it at the time, and I wish I would have known if I was just on the socials today. I was telling Mimi that today. I'm like, I gotta get back on socials. And when that boy outed Khalid, and it was just like, why would you do that? Like, that's nasty work. Plus, I don't care. Khalid make great music. Get out here and fucking sing, nigga. Like, I don't care that what you do in your off time. And I think a lot of people are like that. Whatever. Corey, I think I know what's up with you. And it is what it is, bro. But whatever, dude. And I ain't do what you got to do. Hey, shout out to everybody that can't retire because Trump is ruining the stock market at the moment.
No, MAGA said this is just a regular reset.
Oh. But the other side said this is.
I have never seen people that can change their position no matter what, bro. Like, Barack said something the other day, and he was like, "If this was me, basically, y'all would be letting me get this off."
He did say that,
and I'm like, he's absolutely right. But again, this is why I'm so hard on Democrats. At some point, you have to look at your country. This is still your country, and you got to just realize that, hey, this is how our country sees people. This is how our country sees Americans. This is our country wants to level set and cast. Like, this is what our country wants. If we don't want that to happen, we got to manipulate them into voting for us.
Yeah, but you know how that go. Shout out to Barack. I did pay attention when you said you still paying off that debt with that wife.
Who?
Barack. Not Barack. Barack. He said that in the interview. He talked about how he got into a deficit with Michelle, like when he was running for president.
He's still paying paying emotionally.
Yeah. And you know what? It was tough listening to some of these commentators talk about like what that could be. Oh, he was the president. How could you be like, yo, man, your goal might not be the goal of your wife. And
this is true.
And her goals might not be to go. So when one of y'all sacrifice for the other one, you might get in a doghouse, and it might be like, hey, look, it's my favorite Judge Mathis story.
Yeah.
She thought when that contract was over, they was running into the sunset, and he talked about it. It's over. I'm about to do whatever. What he do? As soon as that contract was over, he started a new production company and started over, and she walked out that crib.
Here's the thing. I think when a man is busting his ass, you shouldn't forget about your wife.
You shouldn't.
But I do believe that there's a level that it might be like, hey, we got to keep pushing in this direction, and this might end.
Absolutely. Whew, shit.
And I think that's heavy, but I think at some point it's like I love you, but it's a number. You know what I'm saying? It's a number.
This is the shit that Mike don't say in pre-production. So when he just say it, I can be like, oh my God, I'm about to agree to something. Don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah, don't agree with that.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
Look, Charlamange was working at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
He tells a story that 16-year-old daughter, he said when she was a baby, he sat at home for a year and a half unemployed.
Yeah.
And he said one day he got the call to go to New York, and now Charlamagne is worth well over, he worth
eight figures easy now. Yeah,
so
easy.
That's some of the things. His wife probably thought when he was at Taco Bell, all right, cool.
Yeah.
She probably thought, all right, he gonna be a stay-at-home dad for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now your man is on CNN. He on Fox. He traveling the world. He writing books.
Yeah.
And this nigga didn't graduate high school, I don't think. Like, that's something crazy to think about.
So sometimes, like I said, it gets a point where it's like, shit, now we got... My point is sometimes you get to a point where one of the spouses are going to have to get behind the other spouse. It doesn't matter what you intended or what you wanted or what you desired. You're in the wrong if that person is on a trajectory, on a basic rocket ship, and you can't get behind them. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Texas.
Y'all, what's Texas doing, man?
So Texas passed the bill in the Senate where you are going to get hit for child support at conception now. So they will go back, figure out that date of conception, and they're going to say that woman is going to collect a check on you from that day forward. So the crazy part is, the moment the child gets here and you establish paternity, you're going to be on back child support automatically.
Yeah, I ain't necessarily mad at that. Sorry.
Dude.
I was married. I had to do it.
Back child support?
All y'all, I was married and did it. Soon as my wife, every doctor's visit. Look, who y'all think was paying for that? We getting the stuff that she need. Yeah, who you think was paying for that? Nah, I'm gonna get y'all. Y'all look, this is one I let y'all get away with y'all student loans when I voted for y'all to get, even though my student loans was paid for, I was like, yeah, let them get whatever. I ain't mad. Well, here's the thing. For real. Yeah. I'm not mad at it because, all right, let's say the baby gets here, they do paternity. All right, cool. We're gonna split. It's up to y'all how y'all gonna do it. 50-50 or they gonna do whatever. I just think I think it's gonna be interesting. And also, yo, it might be time some of y'all to slow it down with, you gonna be some of this is gonna help y'all to make sure you marry the person you have a kid with.
I definitely married before you carry. But anyway, it still hasn't passed the House. Not a real law yet.
And I don't know if it's gonna pass.
Pay attention to North Carolina too. North Carolina got a crazy abortion bill coming up as well.
Oh shit. The NCAA is over. What happened with South Carolina?
Hey man, UConn just had a better team. They were loaded. We did not look like we was able to keep up with them in that game. I was happy that we closed it to under 30 at the end of the game. But we just got, I think her name is Tanaya from Florida State, #1 scoring guard in the country. So she's coming up. Her and Raven used to be backcourt mates in, I believe they played in Atlanta or they played in Georgia. So anyway, we'll be back next year, man. And Paige Beckers is gone. So yeah, we should be good next year.
Yeah, y'all should be good. Shout out to Paige. I was watching her high school highlights. She had bitches on the floor.
Hey, Paige, and what's crazy is her, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, and Caitlin Clark, and Camille Cardoza, they all was in the same class together.
Yeah.
They're the top 5 players, and all of them are hoopers.
Yeah, they all are hoopers. Also, they were showing some clip of like Caitlin playing against Iowa's like men's team. And she was busting their ass.
Caitlin's probably, I mean, you can shoot.
And I don't know if they team that good. But yeah, absolutely. Houston won. First of all, they won their Final Four. Yeah. The men's final game, what a collapse. That was damn near us. My team on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened. You know, we was up by a bunch and then in the final thing, whatever. But going back to the Final Four when they beat Duke. Yo, this is why we need to educate people on who our legends are, because there's no way
they should stop Hakeem, 5 slammer jammer. But here's the thing though, nobody on that court nobody knew that was Clyde Drexler, Hakeem. Who else was on that team? I forget.
I don't know, but somebody was trying to explain to the security guard who he was, and the security guard wasn't here. I do like people that follow rules on those certain things, because those are the certain times where, hey, bro, is your job worth it or not? And if your job ain't worth it, if it is worth it, then you don't care who's coming on the court.
Yeah, but if you could recognize it's Hakeem, and I'm guessing the guy could not recognize it's Hakeem because we're basketball fans. Yeah. So we still know what an old basketball player looks like.
You know who this is.
But that guy in that moment probably just saw an old, tall black dude walking up like Hakeem is graying. You know, he probably looked over there with just like, man, whatever. This dude has nothing to do with you.
Stay with his grandpa. That had me looking like crazy. Shout out to the NBA coaches that were hired to be fired. I don't know what's going on. Mike Malone is gone.
Mike Malone just won a championship and he's gone.
That's crazy.
Y'all did something wild over there.
Or he said something.
Yeah, y'all did something wild over there. Because they fired their GM too.
Yeah.
And they just won the championship. Like what was
2 years ago.
Let's say it could be more. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
because Boston won it last year and the Nuggets won it the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. He must have said something. And also I wonder what they said to Joker. Joker, I don't think Joker cares about basketball. I think Joker does basketball. Yeah. Basketball is just his job. I don't think he really cares. Absolutely. And shout out to some of y'all where it's just my job. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Who else got fired? Hold on. The Memphis coach got fired.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, that team is a mess.
Yeah, when I got my superstar.
Yeah. It's like, dude, cut that shit out, bro.
Well, they asked Ja. Now, that's one I want to do. They talk to Ja about that. Because if they don't, then they really don't rock with you, bro. Job, we need to know that. Is the owners talking to you about top decisions? And
No,
I
don't
wonder.
think
Also, this little fake trade, I love the internet because y'all make up some shit. They doing a fake trade to get Joker to the Lakers. And it's like, Denver is never going for that.
No,
Nobody ever wants to come
and
to Denver.
I don't want a loaded team around LeBron. Just give him a title at the end.
Mike,
I want
you
LeBron
should-
to do it with this team.
Mike, they thought they was going to get Joker for like no draft picks. it was like 5 players. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and none of the players included Luka or LeBron.
With this being said, I mean they could get it done with this team. This Laker team is actually a good team.
It is a good team. Does this if he wins this year, does it put him over Michael for me?
Who, LeBron?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
I think they're 1A, 1B right now. I think there's kind of two different players in two different eras. My personal favorite is LeBron.
Yeah.
And LeBron sometimes does too much. I ain't gonna lie, right? But you know, the opposite can be said for Jordan. Jordan a lot of times did nothing when he could have did a little bit. So I just two different guys, two different eras. They're 1A and they're 1B for me.
Carolina Panthers, Shador will be there. Pick him up.
Come on, man. Y'all got Bryce. You're good.
No, we won't.
Shador is dropping to he's going to Pittsburgh.
You think he gonna drop that far?
I think he's
so. You
gonna
think
drop.
the Saints gonna pass on him? Because that's gonna be the next team that needs a quarterback. I mean, he ain't going to us because we are sold on 5'9" Bryce, which is cool. Whatever.
5'9", 170 pounds.
Yeah, when we can get. I mean, Shador ain't the tallest, but he taller.
No, Shador is a pocket. He's a pocket. Shador can play too. I don't know what the hell y'all looking at. Like y'all just hate this guy because he is flashy and young and brash.
Yeah,
I don't even think you hate him because of Dion. I think you hate it because you didn't get to hate Dion.
That or niggas be mad that people be better than
The
them.
kid can play. I'm like, the
can.
dude throws a tight ball. It doesn't wobble. He's accurate. He holds on to the ball too long, but
his daddy around his life.
yeah, like I'm like, bro, y'all crazy. Y'all saying, the Saints would be. Well, they say the Giants. He thinks he's going to the Giants. So I don't know if it's all smoke screen or not.
They got the number 2 pick.
They
right?
got number three pick, I think.
Oh,
So, but I can see New York doing it. But if he doesn't go to New York, he's probably gonna fall to Pittsburgh. Unless
That's
the
a long
Saints
way
draft
down.
him.
Yeah.
But I think that's a perfect place for him. I think
Pittsburgh?
him and Steeltown with Mike Tomlin. They got great wide receivers up there. They can put a team what Pittsburgh needs is that quarterback that's going to pull the team. Because that's not Mike Tomlin is like, I'm gonna build a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Typically he needs somebody else to like, all right, I'm gonna take you over the top.
It might be time to ask Mike Tomlin. He ready to retire.
Man, he only like 50 something.
I know he ain't did shit in so long either.
But he ain't losing.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He ain't losing.
You know, they always talk about there's like certain teams that's like, we never gonna win.
Yeah.
We always gonna be good enough, but we never gonna win. So we're always gonna be drafting. We're always gonna be too good to not draft high.
Yeah.
And not good enough to win the championship. And you got contenders. Pittsburgh be in that middle too much for me. But it's cool. I like it. Mike already said he gonna be a Pittsburgh fan if
Shador goes to Pittsburgh. Yeah, because I'm about sick of the freaking Duke basketball, the NFL, and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm about sick of them. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a fan, and I'm about sick of the fucking 49ers, bro.
Do Cooper go back to school or he go to the NBA?
He goes to the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know why his mom keep trying to sell us that he might return.
Yeah, no, he's going to the NBA.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they want him to because, he's making a lot of money and it's Duke. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't want their child at Duke versus going into, the what did the 4chan guys call it? The Basketball People's League.
Oh. Yeah, I look at it I can't remember. I don't want to give somebody their credit. I want to give somebody their credit. They said Duke made their thing when Kyrie got there to be a one and done team. It's like, hey, that's been their culture since then. Like, come in, you good enough.
No, it has
done. Been. And since Kyrie, they list out all the players that's done it. It's like every other year, damn near, it happens. So I think Cooper, look, I can't wait to see it. He had 25 points that one game. It was the slowest 25 I've ever seen. But I looked up. I'm like, damn, boy, almost close to 30. I think he ended with 30. I was like,
look, here's the thing. His game isn't fun to watch.
It's not.
Which reminds me of LeBron. Because, that was a lot of complaints with LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. His game wasn't fun to watch. So, I want Cooper to get to the league. I want him to go to the league. I want him to drop 28 and 4. I need him to be the new Larry Bird because I think that makes basketball better. Like, basketball isn't good because there's not a great white American player right now. That's the issue with the NBA right now.
Has it ever been besides Lear?
I mean, you had Larry Bird, you had John Stockton. Like they like
you talking about niggas from long ass time.
Yeah, that's the problem though, right? Like they need someone to root for. And I'm not mad at that, right? Like Caitlin Clark. I was like, yo, I'm not mad at Caitlin Clark. Like,
man, Republicans buy shoes
70% of the population want someone that looks like them. Is that unfair, right? We can't be like,
damn, Mike fighting for the whites.
I'm not shooting them bill. I'm just saying what, because here's the thing. If they don't have anything to fight for, they're going to burn it down. So if it's something that you like and you want it to exist, you better hope that they're happy too. Like there's nothing wrong with saying, all right, everybody gets their piece of the pie.
Yeah. Yep. Cooper, come to Charlotte.
I need you to be good, Cooper. I need you to be good. Please, dear Lord, be good.
And Kevin Durant, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of that Suns
KD
team.
needs to retire.
No.
He needs to retire.
I'm not retiring if I'm dropping 27.
He needs to retire, man.
No, for what?
He's not, because he's I don't want to say he's not impactful, but
he's not.
I didn't want to say it.
He's not. As a KD fan, as a person that loves KD, I have known KD wants to come in. He wants to get his 27, 6 and 5.
Yeah.
And he don't give a damn if they win or lose. He wants to do it. He just likes to hoop. And some people, Joker, they just good at their job.
Yeah, just good at their job. Yeah.
Some people like LeBron. LeBron came into the league and he basically told us, I want to be the best.
Yeah.
Kobe came into this league and said, I want to be the best. Shaq came into this league and he said, after I won one, every big man called me and said, okay, you got one. And he wanted to be the best. I don't think KD ever did that. I do think that.
Who does that right now? Like, what player in the league wants to, like,
none of them.
There you go.
It's not,
which is why we need a Cooper Flag to come in the league.
But I don't even think he wants to, because
bust dudes' ass, get a championship early to kind of get everybody back to be like, whoa.
The only killer who I know is out there is probably Dame. Get well soon. Yeah, Dame is like that. The young boys, I don't see.
And when I say old, I mean like our old for basketball. Like they're younger than us.
Yeah.
You know?
But I don't see like nobody. LeBron is doing everything in his power to say, all right, I'm making records that y'all ain't gonna never.
Yeah, I don't see a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old that's like, nah, bro. I want to take this league from. I see a bunch of dudes that want to be rich and hoop.
Yeah,
and that's killing the league. That's killing people wanting to watch basketball right now.
Yeah. So my thing is, Katie, I hope that you turn around and say, "Who calling me? Dog, I thought I blocked him." Love when people they say, "Oh, we from such and such capital. Here's $500,000." All right, nigga, just ruin my business. Katie, I see you in New York, bro. You'll be a Knick next year. It's cool. And it is what it is. And maybe you get them over the hump. And that's what Katie is going to be good for. Yo, I'm getting you over the hump. And Katie, you either go in there, because Jimmy Butler, he going to resign in Golden State, so you ain't going back to Golden State. So it is what it is. Katie just need to go somewhere where he could just hoop. It don't matter. He got his 2 rings. You ain't going to be able to say that about him.
Yeah.
He a Hall of Famer, first ballot.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I think if Steph get another one, Steph completely passes you and you ain't gonna catch him. I think if Steph get another one, he gonna be ahead of Magic. I think if Steph get another one, y'all don't like to hear this shit, but he might be ahead of Kobe. It is what it is. Do what you want with the information.
I'm gonna let you leave on that hot take right there.
And with that, what you got planned this weekend?
Not much, man. We'll be live tonight. Hey, look for new t-shirt merch to be dropping in the next 30. And that's all I really got right now.
Yeah, I'll be on there tonight. Well, I'll be checking in. If you add me to the thing, I ain't gonna be doing shit tonight. My girl gone. And I can't watch the shows no more.
Oh, that's right, because that would be cheating.
Is it? It is.
Can't do it. You can't do it.
What you rather do? Watch a show without your girl, watch y'all show without your girl, or eat her leftovers?
Oh, I'd rather eat her leftovers. Them shit's gone. I'm taking them leftovers. Like that is like my get back. Like if I miss my chick and she gonna be over, like, and she miss a night, man, I'm eating them every time. Like I ain't even gonna lie. I be like, if I miss you and your food is in there, I'm gonna eat your food.
This is so disrespectful, man. Look, thank y'all for listening. Send this to 4 people. 4. Tag them in the comments. And we're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holla at your boy.